Hello, welcome to Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft. This is Richard, and I don't, hold on. Okay. It's the 23rd of April, Tuesday. I didn't even know what month it was, I'll be honest. Anyway, whatever I just said. I think I said the 23rd. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it's Tuesday, April. I think I said it was the 23rd. Well, Michelle did. I had to go ask her. Anyway, I'm sitting out here on the porch. I have not done a video for Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft in probably a month. I filmed a bunch of stuff a month or so ago. Enough to keep me for like 2 or 3 months. It's ridiculous. I've got enough of videos. Let's see, this is April. I did say it was April, right? Yeah, okay, it's April. And I've got videos that go all the way up into June. So I don't need to make videos. And I don't know, with the mood I've been having lately, don't really care to. But today I wanted to, because I'm actually going to do something. So I have 2 buckets here, and I'll show you here in a second, that I purposely planted potatoes in. They're not growing. Let me show you that. All right, see they're little dinky sprouts, but I don't know. See, they're just not really doing it, right? All right. So I say that I purposely planted those because I want to show you something else real quick. All right, so we're in the house. We're going down the hall here. Let me up here because I don't want you seeing it right yet. So I have a I have a worm farm that I throw my scraps in, and I threw in a bunch of potatoes with eyes, and you know it's got all kinds of stuff in there, but really fertile dirt, honestly. So, and look what happened. Look at that. These are the potatoes that I just tossed in there just for willy-nilly shits and giggles. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, nope. There's at least 10 sprouts in there, and they're huge. And this has been indoors. I'm not taking it outdoors. It's an indoor thing. I put a little bit of water in there every once in a while. I don't want to put too much because I don't have any drainage on the bottom. But this is really just for my worms. But I throw in all kinds of scraps, banana peels and apple peels and potato skins and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, look at how they're growing. Look at that. They're huge. And that wasn't... Well, I knew that they might grow, but I didn't care if they did or they didn't. But they're going like nuts. So that's why I said that's why I said I did these on purpose, because these were intended to be potatoes that was hopefully going to harvest in a few months, but I don't think these are really going to do. But anyway, this is really why I'm doing the video. Here's another bucket, and it's just got dirt in it, just dirt. And the reason I set it out there to get water in it is because I'm going to extract clay from that dirt. And that's the purpose for this video, is I want to, and that dirt has been sitting on my patio since before winter. Yeah, it was sitting there before winter, so it's been sitting there probably several weeks before it got cold, and then all through winter and now into spring. So anyway, I finally decided it was time. So that's about a half a bucket, and I think that's a 5-gallon bucket. That's a half a bucket of dirt, and all I'm going to do is let the rainwater get into it. I was just going to dump water in it, but I'd prefer to use rainwater. And there's been a couple nice rains that I should have done this with in the last few weeks, but I just was too damn lazy, I'll be honest. Just didn't want to do it. But I finally am going to do it today. Hopefully get it finished today. It's just dirt, just grabbed from a field. Just hops getting a jump from here. I don't know how much clay is in there, but it's just dirt. Fill it up with water. I'm going to swish it around until I get it nice and mixed, and all of the heavy stuff, the sand, the rocks, all of the stuff I don't want is going to settle to the bottom. I am going to dump the water. I'm going to strain it. I've got a little strainer, so hopefully that'll work. I'm going to strain it into another bucket, let it sit, stir it up, and let it sit for a little while. Strain it again, and then put it into a blanket, or I should say a pillowcase. We'll put it into a pillowcase. I'm going to let it dry out, and that should be clay. And that's as plain and simple as you can do it. Just take a bunch of dirt, swish it around into water, pour the water out. You can do it once, twice, thrice. You can do it as many times as you want. Once you filter it out as much as you want, dump it into something that will drain the water but keep the clay. Like I'm going to use a pillowcase, and then you should have clay. So we're going to let this go ahead and get more water in it. I want to get as much rainwater in this as I can before I might have to put in tap water. And once I do that, I'm just going to swish it around. I'll show you a video. I got a stick over there. I'll just swish that stuff around until I get it nice and mixed, and let it settle for a few hours and strain it. And that should be enough, really. I may not do it a second time. I don't know. I just kind of want to see how it turns out. But it's possible I'll do it twice. We'll see whenever I get to doing it. We'll find out what my mood is. But we should end up with clay, if there's any clay in there. It's not 100% sure there's even any clay in there. I don't know. This video will be something called extracting clay from dirt or something like that. Originally I was going to say making clay from dirt, but I'm not making clay. I can't do that. I don't have the ability to make clay, but I can extract it. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so I've got plenty of water in it. I'm going to grab a stick. Maybe this stick here. Let's see here. I need a... Yes. Okay, I'm going to have to empty that bucket real quick. Alright, so I have the bucket with the dirt, and then I got a plain empty bucket here. And what I'm going to do is just start stirring this dirt so that I can get it to try to separate. Because what I'm going to do is get it to separate into the water, and then everything that settles to the bottom is discarded, and the clay should get trapped in the water. Piece of stick. So, dirt mixed with rainwater. And I am going to come up with a concoction of dirt and rainwater that hopefully will end up with clay. So I'm going to let this, I'll stir it like this for a while, and then I'm going to let it settle for a while. I'm going to make sure I get it stirred plenty first. And this will be the first stir. I may stir it twice just for shits and giggles, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I can. I think that'll be fine at one time. So once I let it settle, I'll strain it, and that should be mostly clay in the water and no other items, but we'll see. I can feel it's still pretty sludgy on the bottom. Boil, boil, toil and trouble. I'm making some dirt bubble. Alright. I think that'll be fine. So we'll let that sit for a little while, and then I'll come back out here and we'll strain it. So I'll get right back with you. Alrighty, so here we go. I'm going to use this sieve first, just to get rid of the big stuff. Alright, so now I have two buckets. One that's full of mud, and the other should be mainly just liquid. I am going to add more water to this by letting it sit out here in the rain. Maybe it'll collect up. There we go. I'm going to let it collect up some more water, because I'm not 100% sure that all of the possible clay is out of there. So we're going to give it another go. And then here is the water that was through that sieve. I don't think it's quite strained enough, so I'm going to use a smaller sieve later. But I want to do this one more time and get more water out of it before I just go ahead and get rid of all that dirt. So let's give it some more time. Alright, so we are going to give this big pile of dirt one more stirring. And we'll finish this off, then I'll drain it into the other bucket, and then we'll continue. Alrighty, so it's the same night. Well, it's the same day, just at night now. I did it twice, and this is the water. So now we're gonna quickly strain it through one of these strainers here real quick, just to make sure that there's no more little stuff in it. And then once I do that, I will go ahead and put it in the pillowcase. So let's get that going. Alright, so we're gonna see how we can do this, because I'm gonna have to hold it and strain it at the same time. That's gonna suck. Let's sit it up on this table. Alrighty, there we go. So I've got the bucket full of the water and hopefully clay up on a table, and let's try to pour it. Oh yes. My goodness. Alrighty, well, along with this muck, we have that muck there. That should be dirt and not clay. So let's go ahead and pour the water, this water, into this pillowcase. And what comes out of it should be clay. Alrighty, here we go. Last step. Goodness. Now all we gotta do is set and let that drain. I'll get back with you. Alrighty, so I got it pinned onto that bucket so you can hear it. It's draining into the bucket, and if there's anything left tomorrow or whenever the water runs out, it should be 100% pure clay. So we'll see what we got. Alright, so we are back, and those two buckets good. It still has a little sludge in the bottom. Here is the bucket of water. We'll go ahead and dump that out. These two buckets need a little cleaning, but the important thing is this. Inside here, and let's rearrange the camera slightly. Inside here should be 100% pure clay. And this needs a little bit, this needs to dry out a little bit, but you can see in the bottom there's a lump of clay. Here we go. Oh, right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and let that sit and dry in the sun. Oh, look at that. So right here is 100% clay, and it feels like clay too, but it's very wet clay right now. Still needs to dry. So we're going to hang this up and we're going to let it dry, and I'll get back with you in later today or maybe tomorrow. That right there is just wet clay. And there we go. So I've got it setting up. It's going to dry in the sun, and right there is just a block of clay. As soon as it dries, which I'm going to give it most of the day, if not all day, that should be just fine. And there is a big hunk of it right here, and then there's particles of it all throughout that thing. So when it dries on the inside there, I'll be able to get some of the, hopefully be able to pick off some of the dry stuff. But there is a big lump there. You saw the big lump. It's still wet. That's 100% clay. So we're going to let it dry out in the sun, and I'll get back with you later. Alrighty, so I am going to reach up here and grab that. Let's get this down. Oh, there we go. All right, it still may be still a little wet, but I don't want it to be like super dry. I'm gonna pull it out. Oh, it's sticking. Try to get some of that dry clay down there on some of the wet stuff. Alrighty, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it out of here. It's still very wet. I'm gonna take it out of here and just sit it in this pie pan. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and let this part dry a little bit more, and then I'll peel off some more. But this right here should be 100% clay, although it's still very wet. Oh yeah, it's very clay feeling as well too. Right now it just kind of looks like a sludgy mess, but that is 100% clay right there. There we go. So again, I'm going to let it sit here in the sun and dry up a little bit, and I'll get some more of it. Now let's try to peel off some more of this. Right like that. Yes. There we go. What's that mess? Still very wet clay. All right, we're finally on the last leg here. So I have the clay sitting here, and it's been sitting out in the sun. I don't want it to get super dry, but I also don't want it to be so wet that it actually sticks to me. But regardless, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in this plastic bag. So that it doesn't dry out. Oh, that's wonderful freaking clay. And there we go. Now that's the amount of clay that I got out of a half a bucket of water. That's a whole lot more clay than I thought I was gonna get. So I'm gonna be doing this again. I probably won't video it, but I'm definitely going to go get me another bucket of that dirt, and I'm going to end up getting some more clay. That's some decent amount of clay. There we go. So anyway, so to complete it, there we go. I gathered up about half of a 5-gallon bucket full of dirt, and I extracted the clay, and I got a decent amount. I mean, a whole heck of a lot more than I thought I was going to get out of that. So there we go. Now I can't honestly say, oh, that might be clay too down there. Not 100% sure. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and dig what's down here out. Well, that feels like clay too. And this feels very much like clay too. I'm going to go ahead and stick that on the paper. I'm going to let that sit. There's a little bit of other stuff in there. Anyway, I think that's possibly a bit of clay as well. Let's get some more down here. That dried up. That seems to be a little more dirt. Anyway, got a bunch here still left inside the bag. I want to start trying to find like a t-shirt or something to use instead of the pillowcase, but I'm probably going to end up using that pillowcase again. Anyway, we may have another batch of clay. We'll see if that turns out to be clay or just dirt. It feels like clay. And there we go. So, thank you guys for watching Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft, and enjoy the outdoors, even if it's just your own backyard.